Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Wednesday. It's February 22nd, 2012. Have a couple of charts to look at today. We talked about this one yesterday, looking at the NASDAQ. Told you that we were expecting or looking at this, testing this support line right here. And now you have closed below it, which means you have broken that support line. And it's no longer safe to be long. We've been actually against being long this particular average anyway, this particular chart. But you have now broken through that, and so we no longer want to be long any way, shape, or form. We mentioned this before. You had this situation going on here. The same corresponding time period, you were trending up. That was not something that's sustainable. When you see this, it's not a good sign. It's actually a bearish sign. And now you're seeing a breakdown of this trend line here. So we want to start trading the other side of the market, and that's one of the things we talked about yesterday as well. But we went and stopped short of actually issuing alerts there. So let me show you what we've got. Okay, the first market that we're going to look at here that we're going to have to issue an alert on is going to be the UUP. I need to draw a little arrow there. Hang on a second. Okay, there we are. Updated. Let me tools out again. What we have here is the US dollar bullish index fund, and it is starting to reverse to the upside. We've talked about this in the past. Note the high point here, high point here, high point here. You're just moving lower every single time. Then all of a sudden that begins to change. All of a sudden you get this move. When that happens, you look for the pullback, and you want to see some signs of support, such as a hammer formation like you see here. And you want to see that support create a series of higher lows. Here's a low point here. Here's a higher low. Now you're starting to shift this downtrend to what? An uptrend. That's right. Okay. So what we're looking for now is an entry opportunity. We need a situation where candlestick formations give us the same signal. Higher candlestick high than the previous, higher candlestick low than the previous. Okay, we've got the signals all in play. Only thing left to do is actually go buy. Let me clean that chart up a bit. Alright. Alright, so we're looking for an entry opportunity at 22.07 or lower if at all possible. A stop set off this low at 21.99. So the stop will be 1 cent below that low at 21.98. That's what this little blue line indicates. Remember, these charts are always kept on our free website at PerfectStockAlert.com. It's right there. It's 100% free. You can check it out whenever you like. We have like 16, 17 major market charts that are tracked there. We have several different stocks, including, several different markets, including gold right now that we're still long and advancing the stop along there. So keep an eye on those. Another way to look at this chart, and you'll see this also in the VIX that I'm going to show you in a minute. Another way to look at this is you see this move to the downside here, and move back to the upside, making the lower low, move to a higher, and then pull back down. What do you have here? This is actually a chart pattern that's known as an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Here's the first shoulder right here, okay, and then you dip lower to make the head, and then you dip down here to about the same level. It doesn't have to be exact, but about the same level as the previous shoulder to form the second shoulder. And you start moving back up. This means this point and this point, you could draw a trend line across that. This is your neckline. A break above that will confirm this technical chart pattern. If you don't, if you're not familiar with these technical chart patterns, you can always go to the free website at PerfectStockAlert.com. Lots and lots of videos there to teach you this different stuff there and what it means. And by looking at this chart pattern, when you get a breakout, if you get a breakout above that neckline, you can actually measure the distance from here, this 2184, to up here to this neckline. Measure that distance, and that tells you how high you expect price to go, which basically tests the previous high. We'll get to that later. The main thing here that I want to draw your attention was just there was that on the chart. And also, this is an actual trade that looks like something that you may want to be interested in, so check that out. Finally, here we are looking at the VIX. The VIX has got the basic overall chart pattern. You've been in a downtrend, starting to shift to an uptrend. Inverted head and shoulders pattern formation. The same things I just showed you, I could show you again on this chart. Let me get the tools here. One of the things that you need to know is that last night when I was doing this video, I mentioned the VIX and I mentioned the US dollar, but I didn't actually issue alerts on them. I put the video up there and everything else. But then I got on the chart and started updating the charts, and I noticed that the VIX actually should have had an alert issued on it. So I updated on the charts. Remember, the charts are updated every single day on the website. So you got the alert from the charts, but not on the video that was issued. So you might have missed it. But you actually have an opportunity right now. You could still be a buyer here with the stop set off this low point right here. This chart, it's still, bullish on the VIX, which of course is the inverse of the S&P 500, so it's bearish for the overall market. So if you see the markets continue to sell off, you'll be seeing the VIX continue to move higher. But if that market shakes off the downtrend that's starting, then you'll see this guy break down. So you want to keep a tight stop on it. That's how I would do that. I'd be a buyer at 18.19 or lower if at all possible. Set a stop off of this low, which I've just covered up so I can't see it. Clean that up. All right, 17.50 something. You have to check it out yourself. Another thing you should note about this particular chart, you get out the tools again. You'll notice when you've pulled back down here, you didn't form a hammer formation. You did get a spinning top, but you didn't form a hammer. And that's something else that shows weakness to me. So it's something that I'm really not all that bullish on this particular chart. If we start to move up with some strength, something like that, I can understand, buying at that point, or even buying now with a tight stop. I get that too, but I really prefer the pullback to then give me a hammer formation, and this time it didn't do that. I'm not a big fan of that. I actually, looking at this chart versus the UUP or the dollar that I was just showing you a moment ago, the dollar looks stronger actually, which would still be a play counter the market, expecting the market to sell off. You expect the dollar to rise because people sell stocks, they're in fact getting dollars. You guys have heard this before, so I'll just move on. If you've not been to our free website at perfectstockalert.com, it's 100% free. It's right there, and all we ask in return, please refer a friend. Also, you may share our videos online if you like. God bless, take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.